So many times you do have the private sector coming in. Now, these are not the bidders themselves. These are transaction advisory services, experts in the technical, in the financial, in the legal services. So we send out an RFP or an RFQ first, and then to get the qualifications. Then we have an RFP that comes in, and then we pre-qualify transaction advisors. But the transaction advisor only comes in when you have a project. So the project in any of these sectors. You have probably a project in water, a project in energy, a project in construction for student hostels. So the transaction advisor comes in with the contracting authority, one of the institutions which is established in the beginning. So if the contracting authority cannot afford to pay for the transaction advisor, that's when the National Treasury comes in through the PPP Directorate to source for a transaction advisor, to procure the transaction advisor, sitting together with the contracting authority. And that transaction advisor is where you would have the whole spectrum of expertise coming together as a consortium as to offer the transaction advisory services to do the feasibility study, so that we can see that when we go forth to take this project to market, it is indeed feasible, it is indeed possible. And that feasibility study, which is carried out by the private sector and the transaction advisor with the help of the contracting authority and the directorate under the guidance of them, but they have their terms of reference. When they come up with the feasibility study, it must be approved at the PPP committee, so that the depth and the robustness of that feasibility study before going to market is guaranteed. So that's one way in terms of the transaction advisory services before we have the project.